Hello, everybody, and welcome to Music Industry Insights Worldwide. Today we've got Ronnie with us. Hi, Ronnie, how are you?
I'm fine, Saskia. How are you?
Very well, thank
Am
you.
I pronouncing your name correctly?
You're pronouncing my name perfectly. Thank you so much. And thank you for your time today. Really appreciate you
No,
coming
thank you.
on. Do you
Thank
want
you
to tell
for
the listeners
having me.
a bit? Thank you. Do you want to tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, and what you do?
Okay, well, I am a musician.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been pegged in the industry as a jazz musician, but I'm much more than that. So
bravo.
I play a lot of different music. I grew up playing music. My father was a great internationally known poet, and then he had my mother's the oldest of eight. Everybody played something in the house,
I love
so I
that.
grew up running around listening to all types of music and falling in love with every type of sound that I heard. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can keep going, but you got to stop me and give me some
No, it's
specifics.
fine. You can go as long as you like. And it's really nice to hear that you grew up in a creative household. I think that's where a lot of our passion for music comes from, isn't it?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, I was blessed beyond blessings because there was always something going on in the world of art.
Yeah. So tell us
So,
a bit more about your story. How did it all start for you?
um, pretty much as I said in the household, everyone was playing. My mother was playing piano. She was
Yeah.
playing like kind of how can I say it? She really loved Broadway music and film scores and things like that. So she was the oldest of five brothers. Each one of them, one played saxophone, one played trumpet, one played trombone,
Oh,
one
wow.
played drums and bass.
You
As
had
a
a whole
matter of fact,
band. You had a whole
yeah,
band.
it was actually I was almost like a whole band.
Yeah, yeah.
um, and even beyond that, like if you go back to my great grandfather, he was one of the first African American musicians in what we had like the American Circus Band,
Yes.
which eventually turned into the Barnum and Bailey Circus Band. He and his brother played in that band for several years. And there's a lot of backstory to that because it was kind of like at the end of slavery when they were doing these types of things, and all kind of interesting stories I used to hear of how they used to help people to escape that horrendous
Yeah.
lifestyle.
I studied blues actually, and it's really funny how slavery and music evolved through, a lot of hard times for the Black communities as a whole.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more. How did you get into jazz, and why did you choose it?
So so that's like I said, there was so much music going on, but of course I gravitated to because let's see, while my grandparents were playing like Duke Ellington and Fletcher Henderson, all of this type of wonderful big band swing music, I had uncles that were playing Sun Ra, uncle that was playing John Coltrane when
Right.
he went further, with his music. I had another uncle that was playing things like the more of the hard bop, like Horace Silver, Art Blakey. So it was like
Very
just such
eclectic. Yeah.
a melting pot of all this wonderful black music, right? And I just started playing. Um, I gravitated more to jazz.
Mhm.
I guess because it was just every time there was a jam session, I was able to be there. I mean, I started when I was in diapers practically.
Yeah.
So
And have you
I
always
have an
been?
uncle John who played saxophone. He played sax with Bessie Smith. Actually,
Oh,
he
wow.
lived in Chicago. I grew up
Yeah.
in St. Louis, so
Okay.
well, I lived in St. Louis till I was 17. Then I moved to New York
That
to
makes
make
sense.
my
Okay. I was just
my
about to
way.
ask you that question, funnily
Yeah,
enough. Was you based in New York all your life, or did you move? And that's funny because
yeah,
you've
no, I moved.
got as well down that way as well, haven't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yeah. So that's really
absolutely.
good. Like, I really like the history of stuff. And tell us a little bit more. How did you get into music itself? Was that just a passion of yours? Did you study music, or was it just something you got into through the family?
No, so I had like official piano lessons when I was younger.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had my drum teachers were my uncles and their friends who were playing professionally in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Um, I think I had such an affinity for it. I started playing with a lot of elder musicians,
Okay.
and they thought I was much older than I was, but I was a kid, right? Um, I got Duke Ellington came through town with his revival orchestra. He was getting people into the Word of God.
Yeah.
during his time, and
Yeah.
had a big orchestra choir, his jazz orchestra, and he used to carry around with him his nephew, who
Yes.
would recite some poetry from the Bible. His
Awesome.
nephew fell sick
Yeah.
at the university that was sponsoring the concert. My aunt was working there in African American Studies department at that time,
Yeah.
and so she got me an audition. So out of 100 children, I got picked to
Congratulations.
do
Brilliant.
this thing with Duke Ellington, right? So we
Huh?
did it in St. Louis and again in Detroit.
Yeah.
And I think that was about the extent. I was only 9 years old, so I couldn't, you
Blessing.
know, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but from that, growing into his legacy and understanding, man, this guy was how powerful he was and how he changed the face of the music. Because without Duke Ellington's forethought of how he played harmony and rhythmic concepts for his melody, we
Mhm.
wouldn't have had things like bebop.
Right.
Because he allowed musicians to hear the
Wow.
uh, opportunity of the expansion of chords and sounds and things like that. Right? He was like
It's
a
very
big precursor
influential.
of the music going much further.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And obviously coming from an African American background, being in music, what kind of challenges and barriers did you face and overcome to get to where?
Uh, Well, I face I'm still facing challenges and
Yeah.
barriers because,
Mhm.
this so-called jazz industry is not as big as it's as you would think it is, right? And I mean, I know for sure if you look through history, I'm the only musician that has played with the amount of eclectic jazz artists that I have, all the
Wow.
way from Duke Ellington to Major Hollywood, all the way up to Wayne Shorter to Joe
Okay.
Zawinul,
Yeah.
all of the music in between, right?
Wow.
Except it's still very difficult for me to be seen on the world stage, especially during these times, right?
Yeah.
So the jazz industry has taken another shape because it's not the community. When I grew up, when I moved to New York as a teenager,
Mhm.
there was a community of musicians who actually looked out for each other.
Yeah.
Before people started getting corporate sponsorships and
Right.
all of these big,
Multi-cultures.
yeah,
Yeah.
all of those big types of things that kind of took the music in another direction.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it sent it back retrospect, but on a broader level, it's almost like you have to be in a clique to be,
That's right.
out here playing the world festivals, which I feel that I should be, because I've done them with everyone too.
You'll get back to
So,
them again. And
but
also,
yeah. But aside from music, I mean, growing up in America, oh my God, the barriers that I have faced because I'm also an athlete.
yes.
So in
Okay.
my earlier years, I thought I was going to be the first black ice hockey pro.
I was
I
going to say,
played ice hockey.
that's so funny. Yeah. A lot of us are very sporty and very musical. It's funny, isn't
Oh
it? We're
yeah.
academic, but we're very creative, for
Well,
sure.
I mean, most of the musicians that I gravitated to, they were very healthy
Yes.
people, and they had some form of keeping themselves healthy
Yeah.
through athleticism.
Very
Um,
important. And it's good for your
yeah,
mental health as well, isn't it?
absolutely.
Yeah, get
Yeah,
some steam out for sure. And
yeah.
tell us a little bit more. How did that impact your career? Obviously you've had barriers, you've got challenges, you've had a great start, you've worked with some amazing artists as well. So how has that impacted you now? Like obviously it's all changed. How has that impacted
Yeah.
you in your career?
Well, it's impacted me deeply I'm also a professor,
Yeah,
as an educator,
yeah,
right? So I talk about these things in the courses that I teach. For
yeah.
example, I had, for 10 years, I taught a very successful course at the Penn State University called Hip Hop Music and Culture.
Oh,
Through those lens of the music, it allowed me to show
yeah,
all of the barriers that a lot of people face, but
right. Yeah,
more so in the African American community. Because jazz, I mean, music and jazz in particular,
it's a niche.
you can see everything throughout history.
Yeah,
The music has always been at the forefront, but at the same time, it made all these indelible marks doing certain different
absolutely.
difficulties in our collective history.
Absolutely.
So the mark it's made on me is that I love to teach the truth
Mm.
about where we came from, what the things we've gone through. And as you know, right now, it's kind of like a huge contingency, especially in America, for all of that stuff to be swept under the rug.
Well, the UK is
So,
going through the same challenges, I think. We're not far behind you. We're going through our own problems over here too. I think there's a massive shift
yeah.
going on right now, for sure.
Yeah, and it's just to me, it's just so incredibly ignorant. We're in 2025. People should be
Coming
treated
together,
equally.
right?
It
Now,
shouldn't be all of
segregation.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Segregation.
we shouldn't have this racism, homophobia, all of that stuff is such a deterrent to life,
It
and
is.
especially for our children, to just teach the real truth, I mean, just talk about it because once you teach that real truth, people won't make the same mistakes.
Yeah,
Our young people will understand, okay, yeah, people in our past made mistakes, but this is an opportunity for me to make a community with someone else, and we can do some incredible,
touch
incredible
lives.
things.
I think it's really turned into kind of identity politics, a lot of it as well, hasn't it? And I think that's a shame,
Yeah,
but I think it's
yeah,
about community building, like you said, and collaboration. So tell us a little bit more
absolutely.
about that and how that's impacted your career and helped you along the way.
Well, okay, so as a youngster, in St. Louis, there were all types of community
Yeah. Hubs and
centers,
hubs. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, hubs in the Black community and the Hispanic community, and but they were all communing and working with each other. For example, if somebody needed some food over in this neighborhood, somebody would take it there. They always had art. They always had music and poetry that the young people were engaged in. And you didn't have to pay for anything. It was just
Yeah, I remember
the
those.
elders giving their time and their stories. And that was so I was heavily impacted by that. And that's what for example, when people come into my band, young or old, especially young musicians, they come to my house. They like live at my house. I'm like, look, I got a spare room.
That's
Hang
nice.
out. Let's eat. I'll show you how to cook some things, or
Yeah,
you can show me how to cook some
yeah.
things,
You gotta have
and
a
then we
vibe.
put it together and we make music.
Yeah,
That's how I was. I
that's
was raised like that. I never had a rehearsal in someone's home or in a community center
yeah.
where there was not also food and fellowship.
Yes, that's very
Yeah,
important, isn't it? And having that
absolutely.
what do they call it, that vibe where you just connect,
Yeah,
got that
that's
strong
it.
connection.
And it created a vibe.
Yeah. And I love
Yeah.
jazz. Do you know what? I really do love jazz. I love the saxophone. I love how smooth, how impactful, how, it really hits home. It just touches your heart. So tell me, like,
Uh-huh.
what do your songs represent? What's your story? What's your music about?
So my songs, as what we've been talking about, they're all personal explorations, declarations,
Yeah,
um, a vision for the future
yeah,
of um,
it's nice.
of humanity. Everything has a personal touch to it. And it's all about experience. So I'm an experiential
So sharing that
professor
with the world.
and teacher and musician, and so everything that's affected my life comes out through the music, which I feel that's what we're supposed to do as artists.
Yeah, that's
You
impact.
know, yeah. And so for me, it's like it tells a story. For example, I do have a new recording coming out. We're not exactly sure of the release date. It's supposed to be sometime in February 2026.
Fingers
But
crossed.
that recording, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That recording is called Moving On as One, and it's about all of us as a human race being able to move forward
like that.
through our tragedies
Hmm.
to get somewhere where we can be successful and prosperous and healthy, and our
Yeah,
children can see us like working with one another. So
yeah.
that the whole vibe of the recording is about that.
Yeah, and do you know what I really like as well about music? It's a medicine. It's kind of a release. It's also, something for
Mhm.
the soul. So how's it helped you along the way and making music and being creative?
Absolutely. And I've seen musicians, like on the brink of death or something. If we're on the road,
Trust
they're
me, I've
just
been there
exhausted.
for
But when it
myself.
comes time to play, it's like, I got this incredible energy. I got this incredible strength to get through.
Yeah,
But on long-term resilience um,
yes.
tip, music is our last natural healing force. I mean, music had more of a priority back in all of our ancient cultures. I
Yes.
mean, it doesn't matter what your background is, music played more in a spiritual part of our growth and our development.
Yeah.
And in that capacity, it allows us to heal
Yes.
because, I mean, without music, we'd have no culture. We'd have nothing,
Cool. It's
basically.
essential too, isn't it? Because it
Yeah.
connects you. Because I came across music because I was in an amazing choir when I was younger. Similar to your story, when I was 8, I won a scholarship to one of the best choirs, and we did world tours. And I was born in Oxford in the UK, so it was quite a good place to be at the time. And I sang for a cathedral, so we used to go around and sing for like the Queen and Princess Diana and a few different people, and it was really really good experience. But that brought me closer to God, and it also brought me
Yeah.
closer to faith and belief and strength and perseverance. Has it done the
Yeah.
same for you?
That's a beautiful story. We have that in common because from
Yeah,
the time I was like 6 years old till probably my early teens, I sang also in the choir. I
yeah,
sang in two different types of choirs, a
brilliant.
Catholic choir and the
Uh,
Baptist
I was
Baptist Lutheran choir, so I had the best of both worlds. But yes, it grounds you in a certain way, it really does. And it's funny when you mentioned Princess Di. I was in the UK. I got held up twice because I was working actually at Ronnie Scott's, right?
I do. It's not far from me actually in Soho. Yeah, I've
I,
been there a few times. I
I,
love
I
it.
was performing there with the great McCoy Tyner, and the
Okay.
band left, right? Okay, I'm going to be very transparent. I was pretty young.
Yeah.
So the night before, I was hanging out and partying.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
But so I missed the transport to get to the club. And I'm like, oh no, I got to get to the club. And it was during Princess Di's procession that I was trying to get
Oh,
to
bless you. That's a
to
nightmare.
Ronnie Scott's. And as I'm in a taxi, like, come on, man, we got to go. He's like, where do you want me to go? It's like, but I got there right at the downbeat. McCoy was just sitting ready to sit. I ran behind the drums. He gave me this look like,
The music games. Yeah.
but
I,
that was an incredible experience for me. I mean, being right there in the middle of all of that.
and I love it when they bring kind of the jazz fusion in. Like Amy Winehouse is a prime example. She also
Oh
performed
yeah,
with Ronnie Scott's one of my favorite artists. That's
yeah,
God bless her. But she brought that jazz fusion with the pop, with that soulful voice, and it just kind
yeah.
of did everything, didn't it? It makes a massive
It
difference.
did. It did absolutely. Yeah.
Do you like to see change in the music industry over the next couple of years? It has got a little bit harder. It's going through a change. What would you like to see improve?
Um, a community of musicians who care about other musicians
Yes.
come back.
Yeah.
Right now it's like musicians only care about themselves and their career.
Tell me about
And if they have corporate sponsorship, nobody else exists basically.
it. Mm.
And
Well, I
if they do anything for some of the musicians, it's for musicians that they feel they can control
yes.
rather than expand with.
That's a really good point. They want to control the narrative, don't they? That's the
There you
problem.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you on that one. So you want more of a community and you want people to care. Now, there are some artists like myself and music industry professionals that really do care, but the majority of the
Mhm.
industry is quite selfish. How do you deal with
Yeah.
that? Obviously, balancing that with your mental health and your career.
I got to be honest with you, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult. The thing I think that keeps me uh, positive is that I'm constantly writing. I have wonderful children and grandchildren,
God bless you.
so I'm able to talk to them and keep them grounded, and they talk to me, keep me grounded. I have an incredible wife who is 100% supportive. We support each other,
Yeah.
and we talk about these things, and we try to just make change. We have a nonprofit here in New York. We do a lot of work in underserved communities.
Well done.
Um, we bring free education, free entertainment. We bring free food. All of these types of things, right? So those things help
That's good
keep me
work.
grounded
Yeah.
as a human being, right? So it kind of, yes. As an artist, I fight depression all the time. I was telling a young artist the other day, an animator who is incredibly talented,
Yeah.
and he just finished doing something with his portfolio and he got a job, and he became so afraid. He's like, I got to do this job to keep my mental health. And I'm like, okay, that's one aspect of it, but also as an artist, you have to do your art to keep your mental health, to
Absolutely.
find yourself, because that is indicatively yours. That comes from your soul. You understand? And
Yeah.
so I'm, and so so we all go through that. As an artist, for me, I mean, I have hundreds of compositions that I've been able to record some, but I haven't had the capacity or a large enough record label to tour
Yeah,
so the music can develop and blossom. So,
yeah.
we have that thinking, oh man, I have this great music and it hasn't been heard by the masses like you want.
It will get there, sometimes it takes time, and it's like building a house, isn't it? It doesn't happen
Yeah,
overnight, and you've got to put a lot of hard work in behind the scenes for people to.
absolutely. Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think a lot of people have missed that part out. They bring out music, but they don't realize you have to build the foundations first, right? And
yeah,
you have to make sure they're solid and then build the house. And then once the house
yeah,
is done, then it's time. And I think, so many people are making music. Anyone can
yeah,
make music now. It's become super competitive, and there's more music than ever before. So I think it's
yeah.
trying to break through that noise, isn't it? And being authentic
It is. It
and
is. It is.
representation.
It is. Yeah,
So how important
yeah.
has that been to you? And obviously, cultural and age differences also have an impact. Different cultures, different ages. Has that impacted you and your career as well, and how you progressed?
Yeah, I think well, right now I think the divide in terms of cultures has gotten more deepened because of the political things we're going through in the world. But there was a time where, I mean, and I still have um great musicians friends from all over the world. We would love to be able to do something. However, there's no that we really don't have like State Department and embassies that are sponsoring the things like they used to. So that again makes it more difficult. We have to figure out on our own recognizance how we can have it happen. For example, I'm working on a recording with an exceptional trumpeter composer from South Africa, right? And also a great percussionist from India. He lives in Europe now, but it's Trilak Gertu. He's a good friend. He's an incredible musician. And Mandela Mengele from South Africa. We're trying to do something globally. But of course, I have to figure out how we can do it in
Yeah,
terms of money wise, right? Because we can't depend on any type of other agency to help
work
us,
for
right?
you.
So
Right.
it is impactful. That's why hopefully we can reach back into certain entities and people in our community that would want to see this thing blossom.
So
And to me, right now, in terms of everything surviving, especially art, we need community. We need more community instead of, corporations or businesses trying to run the narrative of what's going on.
I love that. Yeah, stay authentic, stay real. I think that's really going to help, especially for the future.
Absolutely.
A lot of people can tell these days,
Yeah.
audiences can tell they're not silly. We've got social media, we've got a lot of things now where people can literally access artists' lives all the time. And it's not always what
Yeah.
you see on the screen either, because
Exactly.
a lot of people say, oh, that looks really great. And I'm like, yeah, it looks great, but my life hasn't changed. It's still the same old me doing the same old thing.
Yeah.
And now I've got more problems, not less. I've
Yeah.
got more things to deal with. And like you said, I don't have a team. I don't have a management. I don't have an agent. Everything I do by myself. I do it for
Yeah.
community, and I do it for passion and love and dedication,
That's it.
and
Yeah.
that's what it should be. So I'm really glad to
Yeah.
hear. And I want you to succeed in what you do. So what is going on with your musical career next? What's coming up, and how can the podcast listeners get involved and help you out?
Oh yeah. So listen, first of all, thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for inviting me here.
Thank you.
We need more of these types of podcasts where people can also see who we really are.
Yes,
A lot of times,
I'm
yeah,
just
you see a lot on social media, but you don't get to interact and
yeah,
have some of these types of important conversations.
yeah,
Um, I'm moving forward as usual. I teach my courses at Brooklyn College. I have the jazz ensemble. I also teach African American history. As I said before, I'm composing all the time. I have some nice new band members in my band, as well as some seasoned
yes,
members.
yeah.
Um, and we are pushing forward. We have dates starting in the 1st of January throughout the United States. We're looking to book more in Europe, obviously. I need to get back to the UK. I've been trying to reach Courtney Pine, who
Oh,
was a dear friend of mine. I'm
yep.
sorry.
And agents, get in touch with Ronnie, because we'd love to have Ronnie in the UK. We've got the Jazz Cafe. We've got some amazing places. Ronnie Scott's is still there. We've got loads of
Yeah,
places you can come and perform, and we love jazz. We love jazz, and I think jazz is making
I
a
know. I know.
sure.
Yeah.
And African Americans have always been. My mum's African American, my dad's English and Spanish, and I'm kind of mixed myself. So I've got big love for Americans. And, I really want to see you succeed and progress.
Oh, thank you. And I want to see you as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we got to work on this together.
We will. I'll try and help the best I can. So, how can people connect with you, find out more about your music? How can they do that, Ronnie?
So we have two different websites that's very easy. I hope they're easy.
Mhm.
Maybe I should have wrote up a little card so I could flash it up there.
Leave the links in the description. Don't worry about that.
Okay, yeah. So it's ronnieburrage.com. My site, there's a contact page. It also connects you right to my management team on the
Yeah.
contact page. We also have our wonderful nonprofit. We want to partner with nonprofits around the world to do incredible things for people around the world that need it. And that is worldrhythmacademy.org. So
On all the
I'll give
social
you
media.
all of the links.
Yeah. Is that on social media platforms?
Yes.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, they can find us on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, and we will make sure that all the listeners get that as well. So yeah. Also, can you just tell us about your major wins and successes? I know you've talked about some of them already, but through your career, you've had ups and downs, and we all have them. So tell us a little bit more about some of the big wins you've had and some of the successes you've had so far.
Okay, the big wins I've had is that I have four healthy children
Yeah, that's the that's
that
the
are
that's the biggest win.
that are prospering and doing well.
Yeah.
We're praying one for one right now. She's having serious health challenges, but we're in belief that God is going to pull her through
Absolutely.
everything. My next set of big wins is all of my wonderful, talented grandchildren. And I love being a grandfather. People are like, don't you feel old? I'm like, no, you're only old as you
You,
put it
I,
in your head. I'm still on my bike riding 30 miles when I get on my bike, so I'm good.
yeah. Oh, that's good.
um, in terms of my career, I guess the big wins are that I'm still above ground.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned before, there's no one in history that has the amount of artists that I've played with
Yeah.
in so many different genres
Yeah.
of what you call jazz. So that's a huge win. That's something that no one can take from me because it's historically documented. So I
Well
feel
done.
good about that.
You'd be so proud of
And
yourself.
I feel good about the fact that I'm constantly moving forward. My wife is pushing me forward. We don't have time to get sucked into the places that,
I keep it moving.
yeah, got to
Oh,
keep it moving. That's it.
yeah. So if we've got some jazz musicians, up and coming ones. What advice would you give them as well? Trying to make it in the music industry. What kind of advice would you say to them?
I would say to them, I would say stay the course.
Yeah.
Look towards some of the veterans that you really appreciate in your area and go seek them out. Another thing that's happened nowadays, a lot of young people, they get sponsored by somebody and they forget about the people that were here before them
And I'm always
and they
talking.
think it started with them.
Yeah.
So my advice is that have these conversations with people that have been there, because success is measured in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Success isn't about if you have a gig every day and you're making tons of money.
Mm-hmm.
Success is about how you feel inside.
Right.
I know I'm very successful because I'm blessed
Yeah.
and I've had, tons of money. I've had lows with money, but I'm here and I'm able to share my story. So for me, that's a success story.
That's really
But for
good.
young people, you need to have conversations. You can't learn this thing in a book. You
Yeah.
can't learn it from YouTube. You
Mm-hmm.
have to have conversations. And that's one thing I feel blessed about because all of my heroes were able to give me that time.
Yeah, and communicate and mentor you. And I think that's really important as well, actually. So,
Absolutely.
networking is extremely important as well. How has that helped
Yes.
you and your music evolve?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, networking, when I first came on the scene, when you start working with one people, the buzz starts getting around. And
Yeah,
if somebody says, hey, man, you should go see so and so, I got up and I went to see them, and things started to happen. Um, it is a little more difficult now for me to network as I did because there's so many, as we mentioned before, there's so many little pockets of things that don't have anything to do with who I want to be as a human being. It has more to what can I do for somebody for them to help me.
Yeah,
and that kind of puts another type of thing on it. You know what I mean?
absolutely. Collaborations, like we said earlier. Absolutely, I
Yeah,
totally agree. And
yeah,
it's also learning from others as well, and having someone to guide you,
absolutely.
and having a mentor. I've had many, and it's really
Yeah,
extremely useful because the music industry is evolving, but that experience and knowledge is also so powerful, and it can help
it's
us.
very powerful. It's very powerful, and I have to be fully transparent. I don't have anything that I hide behind curtains. So if any young person comes to me and they want to ask me about things that challenges or whatever, I'm going to tell you straightforward what I've had to go through.
That's exactly what we need. I wish there was more
Yeah,
people like you out there, Ronnie. The music industry would be awesome. Unfortunately, it's not always like that.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
thank you ever so much. I've really enjoyed your time, your story,
I enjoyed yours.
energy, and oh, this will be out in a couple of weeks. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Saskia.
Thank you.
I hope to talk to you again soon.
You will. Thank you.
Okay.